Welcome students to another session. Now let us talk a couple of points about neutrons, from where this concept of neutron has come and all that. See, we have discussed this Rutherford model. Rutherford model we have discussed. Basically, Rutherford said that there is a central core which has got some protons like this. Okay, so like this here in the central core there is some positive charge, and this electron is rotating around this nucleus inside the atom. This is our atom. So these are, you call it orbit, you call it whatever. Here electron is rotating in this fashion, and in center there is a positive core is there, which he called nucleus. Now going by this concept, if you take hydrogen, hydrogen atom, if you take, it has got one proton, right? Now let us say hydrogen weight is 1 unit. We are talking in terms of atomic mass units, okay? So when you take some other element, let us say helium. So helium means what? Two protons. So it should be 2 units, right? But actually helium mass was 4 times that of hydrogen. It was observed. So what was the reason for that? So that means in this nucleus there is something else which is there with the protons, and it must be neutral, because the charge is 2 only. Helium has a charge of 2 plus. Okay, so there must be something in addition to the protons which is constituting the formation of nucleus, and that is where the concept of neutrons has come. Okay, now how this concept of neutron has come means, you can see the discrepancy here. No, there is if you take hydrogen mass as 1 unit, helium should be 2 units, because helium has got two protons, but the mass was 4 times. Okay, so that means apart from proton there must be something which is there with alongside neutron, alongside proton, which is chargeless. It has no charge but mass almost equal to proton. This is what is the basic assumption. Okay, if you take lithium, you take beryllium, you take any other element, the same concept applies. Okay, now uh, there was a scientist called Chadwick. So he came with this concept of neutrons in 1932. Okay, basically what he did was, this is a beryllium foil, you can say. So he bombarded this with alpha particles. Alright. So when this beryllium foil was bombarded with alpha particles, so some some rays were emitted, some mysterious rays were emitted. Alright. Now these were found to be neutral in nature. How do you decide that anything is neutral in nature? Subject that to an electric field. Okay, keep a positive charge here, keep a negative charge here, pass something through the electric field. If it is going undeviated, you say that it is neutral. If it is moving towards positive, you say that it is negatively charged. You say that it is moving towards negative, you say that it is positively charged, because plus minus attract and minus minus plus plus repel, isn't it? This is the concept involved. So these were found to be neutral in nature. Alright. Then what he did, he put over here wax, paraffin wax. Many times we use this paraffin wax only. It is easily available, it is easily moldable. Okay. So when these rays were made to hit this paraffin wax, It emitted protons. Which type of protons? Fast moving protons. Fast moving protons. Right? Now tell me something. I take a bicycle. Okay, I take a bicycle and I hit a truck. Will the truck move? Well, it will not move, right? Bicycle mass is nowhere comparable to a truck. So if you are making this truck to move, the one which is hitting this also should be comparable. So these rays which are emitted, first of all, they are not electromagnetic waves. They were not electromagnetic waves. They weren't, because electromagnetic waves are basically massless. So it has got sufficient momentum to knock off protons from this paraffin wax. Similar to this, like this truck. The truck is heavy. You want to make the truck to move. You are colliding this with a cycle. It is not possible. You have to hit this with something which is comparable to the truck weight. So here also, if these rays are knocking off the protons, so their weight must be comparable to their weight must be comparable. Okay, so these two must be comparable. So here we are getting what? We are getting this has got sufficient amount of momentum to hit these proton particles. Okay, so their mass must be comparable with this. It is not electromagnetic wave. Okay, so it is a particle, high speed moving particles which are hitting other particles and knocking them off. So this is how this concept of neutron means, see, it is neutral in nature and mass comparable to proton. So it is neutron. That's the name that has been kept. Let's see some more points about these neutrons. So we have come to know that the central core, that is a nucleus, is made up of positively charged, and these have got no charge. This is the nucleus. These two are protons, these two are neutrons, and electron is rotating around this, right? So this is the structure now, and the mass of the proton and the mass of the neutron is almost comparable. Now these neutrons have got a high penetrating power. So it is a very, very important high penetrating power it has got. You can penetrate deeply. So this phenomena we are using in nuclear reactions. See, if I want to break an atom, I cannot take a hammer and break it. Okay, so I have to do a process. So I need a breaking material. So what is that breaking material? Neutrons. Okay, that we will see now. There is a process called fission. There we will study this. This neutron has got high penetrating power. You got slow moving neutrons, you got fast moving neutrons. Alright, they both possess energy, and the energy is in the order of this much, and 2 electron volts, 2 electron volts, 2 million electron volts, 2 million electron volts. A slow moving electron has this much of energy, and this is this much of energy. Fast moving neutrons. Okay, so these slow moving neutrons, they are also called thermal neutrons. If you come across this term thermal neutrons, it is slow moving neutrons. Okay, so this fast moving, let us say this fast moving neutrons are there. Now it got catalyzed into slow moving neutrons. Suppose a process is there. Fast moving neutrons have become slow moving neutrons. So there must be a via medium. That via medium is moderator. All these terms will be coming across in nuclear reactions. So basically, slow moving moving electrons, slow moving neutrons possess this much energy. They are called thermal neutrons. Now the slow moving neutrons are used in nuclear fission. Okay. Now, and fast moving neutrons have this much of 2 million electron volts of energy they have. So these are some of the properties of neutron. Any other important property I'm looking into? Basically, yeah, these two is very important points. Make a note of them. See, while discussing this binding energy curve, binding energy curve, if you remember, we have discussed this graph wherein, like this it is. So it is, this is on this side it was average binding energy we have discussed, and this is the atomic number we discussed, and we have come here for Fe, it was almost 8.7 million electron volts. But while discussing this, we have discussed a point that in this region you talk about nuclear fusion, and in this region A greater than 220 you talk about nuclear fission, right? Now what are these fission and fusion? See, basically any heavy nucleus, it tries to break off on its own and it tries to become a stable version, a stable element, but in that process it releases a tremendous amount of energy. Okay, so nuclear fission means breaking. So टूटना, so nuclear fission is one type of nuclear reaction where tremendous amount of energy can be generated. Okay, so we will discuss a little bit about this. So if you remember this energy curve, so for heavy nucleus we always talk about nuclear fission. It is done in a nuclear reactor. Let us see what is the process involved in a nuclear fission. Now let us discuss behind the concept behind nuclear fission, the basic principle behind an atom bomb. Okay. Now basically what happens is, you have got uranium-235. All this uranium, anything above 220 basically is highly radioactive in nature. It tries to break down, decay on its own. Any radioactive substance, when it decays, it emits alpha particles, beta particles, or gamma radiations. Alright. Now here what happens is, if a uranium nucleus is bombarded by a slow moving neutron. So what happens is, so this is a uranium nucleus will be like this. Alright. And you hit it with a single neutron, let us say. So what happens, it gets and sticks over here. It makes a compound version of uranium, and this is very highly unstable. This is unstable. See, this itself is unstable. It is even more unstable. Alright. So you can see, you can match these charges and masses. Mass is 235 plus 1, 236, 92 plus 0, 92. Now because this is highly radioactive in nature, and the nucleus is heavy, it will break on its own. Now students, here this nuclear fission is not happening because you are simply bombarding with a neutron. Actually, this attacking with a neutron is making another compound nuclei which is highly unstable. Basically nuclear fission is happening because of highly unstable nucleus. You have to do something and create a highly unstable nucleus, which you have created over here. So this breaks down into barium krypton. Okay, let us just balance this. This is 92, 56 plus 36 is 92, so this is 0, and 141 plus 92, how much is it? Just check. This is 3 and this is 233. So this is 233, this is 236. So 0 n1 multiplied by 3. That means 3 into 1. 3 you can mass. See, you have to balance the mass, you have to balance the charge. So in this process, 3 neutrons are released and tremendous amount of energy is released, which is in the order of 200 million electron volts. Okay, and we are talking about one nucleus, right? So this much amount of energy is released and this is the basic fission reaction. Every time will barium and krypton only will be created? No. This is one type of process we are discussing. Okay, so this is exactly what happens in a nuclear fission reaction, and this must be a slow moving neutron. Okay, imagine 1 gram, how much atoms it will have? It will have 6.022. How much? 1 gram uranium will have how much? 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 by 235. These many atoms it will have, no? So many atoms will have so many nucleus also. Just imagine how much energy can be released. Now what happens basically? Now here neutrons are released. It will hit some other uranium 235. See, basically you take a sample. You take a sample like this. Alright. So this is uranium 235. This is uranium 235. We are taking a sample. We are taking a big sample. This is uranium 235. Alright. So this has been hit. So this created uranium 236. And in this process, 3 neutrons were released. 3 neutrons were released. What they will do? They will hit this, they will hit this, and they will hit this. So there is a chain. And each time it is hitting, how much energy is created? This much amount of energy is created. So 1 gram of uranium, you can see how much energy it can create. How do you find out? These many atoms multiplied by 200 million electron volts. Million means 10 power 6, electron volts means 10 power minus 19 into 1.6. This much joules of energy is created. Alright? So this is the concept behind nuclear fission. So in that same nuclear fission reaction, I have used slow moving neutrons. How do you get them? You use a moderator, you take a fast moving neutron, there is a moderation process, and then you get the slow moving neutrons. When the slow moving neutrons are hitting uranium U235, alright, and this is converting into U236, and this in turn releasing neutrons. Okay, now what happens is most of the neutrons will be released immediately, but some, almost 99.99% neutrons are emitted immediately, but 1% will be little bit delayed. Now those delayed neutrons are what creating this chain reaction. Okay, and we have to see that this should be controllable, isn't it? This should be controllable chain reaction, not an uncontrolled chain reaction. Uncontrolled chain reaction will create what? That lab cell will become a potential atom bomb. Okay, so this has to be done very, very carefully and meticulously. So it involves a process actually, but these are promptly emitted. 1% which are made to delay, those are creating this type of chain reaction. So these are the important points in while discussing about this nuclear fission. Okay, and alright, in the next class we will discuss about this little bit about nuclear fusion reactions. The theory part, most of the things we have covered now. Maybe we will move on to some numericals on this atoms and nuclei. Some more small concepts are remaining, which I will cover in the next class. After that we will see some illustrations. Okay, take care then, see you, bye bye.